You want to know something that most women aren't ready to hear? Modern feminism killed chivalry.
I don't think they care.
Modern feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing men as oppressors rather than partners and equals. With the birth of modern feminism, there came the birth of the girl boss, I don't need a man. Chivalry was never meant to make women look weak. It was made to create a culture of mutual respect where men acted honorably towards women and acknowledged their virtue and grace.
Yes.
Modern feminism, by demanding sameness instead of equality, has blurred those lines. In trying to erase gender differences, it's erased the gestures that celebrate them. The result of this is now we have an entire generation of men who are not willing to honor, pursue, or protect women. We have this entire generation of men who just want to hook up on the first date, who have no respect for women, who don't hold open the door, who don't buy flowers, and it is because of modern feminism.
Yep.
Not only that, but it is also a result of weak men. There's a reason that our grandparents have the cutest love stories where the men pursued the women and they didn't have sex until they were married and they respected and honored each other. And now we are seeing the result of the crash and burn of modern feminism. And unfortunately, it is affecting a lot of women looking for life partners and a lot of men looking for life partners. Feminism is great. The idea of feminism is great to promote equality, but it has evolved into something that is toxic and dangerous to our society.
Yeah.
Turning 40 this year and everything is just hitting me right now. It's like not where I wanted to be. I haven't succeeded at anything. I haven't even tried. Like, I don't even know anymore. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to cope with anything. And I don't know I did this whole growing thing wrong. Like I'm supposed to be an adult. I'm supposed to be able to handle these things, and I can't handle anything. And I literally am just realizing, like, it's been 40 years of this, and like 40 years of just being confused and not knowing and like figuring things out slower and like not like I haven't built anything. I have nothing like to show for this time. I just don't know what I'm doing here, and I'm lost. I'm afraid, and I don't.
So this is a woman turning 40. I told you that the panic used to set in at 35, and now it's getting later. And the numbers are looking more like 38, 39, and 40. And plus 41, 42, early 40s even for some, depending upon if they live in cities. So what's happening here? Some of this is that people are infantilized, right, in general. And like I tell you, there are like grown-ups, 40-year-olds in New York City that are partying like 20-year-olds. And it's like so embarrassing. If you've like grown up and you go and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like he's living in a studio apartment that he can touch both walls. He's 40 years old. His job sucks. Like he's out drinking on a Thursday night and dancing to like Groove is in the Heart. What the hell is going on, right? You know, you're just like, holy mother, you know? But this is also what happens to women in particular when they follow the feminist path. Because what happens is they realize that all of the stuff that they were building doesn't matter to them. And they're 40 and they're older and they're alone and it's harder to get a guy. And now like this stuff that they built doesn't keep them warm at night. It doesn't make them feel good. It doesn't make them feel valued. And now it's all of the responsibility is on them. So now it's like, oh my God, even if I wanted to have a baby and let's say I went and had a baby myself and got a donor, I have to work. I have to support this child on my own. Like it becomes completely overwhelming. And you look back at your life and you say, what the hell was I doing? And you look across the street and you see that woman who has a husband and a child and doesn't have a job anymore, but looks fulfilled. And you say, what went wrong for me? And what went wrong for them is that they listened to the crappy advice and they listened to people who told them that their career would be more fulfilling than, say, motherhood or being a wife or having a family or any of those things that put you in your feminine and make you really think about at the end of the day what brings you joy and peace. And they're at complete dis-ease and panic-stricken and now 40 and don't feel like they're in their prime and don't know what to do about it, right? Because once the time has passed, the time has passed. And you can't change certain things, right? You can't make yourself younger and you can't take away the wasted time, and you have to find a way to move forward and say, okay, I'm 40 and I'm going to do the best with what it is. But it's very hard to do.
Middle-aged, unhealthy, isolated, buried in debt, and stuck at home with no direction. This has quietly become the reality for many modern women. They're only realizing it now, but for most, the window to change has already closed. Men should be extremely cautious engaging with women carrying this much unresolved baggage.
Let's just get one thing clear. 50-50 is not feminism. 50-50 is patriarchy. And I know I'll have just as many women in my comment section saying, 50-50 keeps me safe. 50-50 makes our relationship equal. But does it? If he disrespects you and you remind him that you paid half the mortgage, does it stop? If he cheats on you or wants to leave after decades of being together, does paying 50-50 make it easier for you to leave? Does it put you in a better position at the end of the relationship? Numbers say no. And the numbers say that paying 50-50 doesn't actually make you any safer. All it actually does in reality is give you the privilege of paying to be near your greatest predator. Because here's the thing, in a 50-50 relationship, this equal relationship, you are still going to be doing all of the things that you would have been expected to do in a provider relationship. You are still going to be having all of the babies, like 100% of them. He's not going to have any of the babies. You are still statistically likely to take on the vast majority of the domestic labor over time, even if it doesn't start that way. You are much more likely to leave the relationship if it ends at a disadvantage. You are still the one put in vulnerable positions, both physically, mentally, socially, all of the above, by being in that relationship. And now with 50-50, you're telling me that it's suddenly equal because the one thing that men were expected to do, bring in a paycheck, is now half your responsibility too? So now you have like 90% of the responsibility and he's got like 10, and that's considered equal? If you need to be giving that much more in a relationship in order to feel safe, that relationship is not safe. If what you're looking for is an equitable relationship, a relationship where there's actually an equal exchange of energy, where you're taken care of as much as you take care of the other person, 50-50 is not going to get you there. And the real secret about it is that men know this too. They know what they're asking for when they ask you for 50-50. They are perfectly aware of the fact that they will end up doing so much less and getting so much more. It's a great deal for them. Of course they're going to ask you for it. Of course he's excited that you're a feminist who's going to pay your own way so that he can get all of those perks, everything that a relationship gives him, without having to even pay for it, without having to do anything. He just has to continue paying the bills, half of the bills, that he would have had to pay anyway. It's bullshit. It's a scam. And it's definitely not feminism. It's patriarchy with lipstick on. So next time a man suggests 50-50 to you, please see it for the scam that it is, okay?
Many women who embraced radical feminism eventually come to regret it. They miss the stability, intimacy, and emotional safety that a committed man provides. Now, years later, they look back wishing they had made different choices when it actually mattered.
So I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was basically asking me, like, why do men take feminism as a direct attack on them? And I was telling her, like, in the big scheme of things, that's not what feminism is. But when you look at it from like a generational lens, it kind of is in a way, not really, but it kind of is. And the reason I say that is because men were expecting a certain thing when they thought of marriage or partnership with a woman, right? They thought that, you know, a woman's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to take care of the home, she's going to take care of the kids, and I'm going to come home, kick up my feet, and relax. She's going to bring me my plate, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do what I want to do, and then we're going to do the same thing tomorrow. And so because women are out earning men, we're more educated, and we just simply don't need a man. The things that they were expecting from a wife or a woman, we're not offering anymore. I'm not offering to be the only one cleaning. I'm not offering to be the only one cooking. I'm not offering to be the only one taking care of the kids. And because of that, they have to offer different things too. Like they have to offer emotional capacity, consideration, thoughtfulness, child rearing. Like they have to bring more to the table than they were before. Like I was telling her, like, you know, during our grandparents, their ages, not our grandparents, but just around like that time, the grandfather would have another family around the corner. You may or may not know, and if you knew, you would just turn your back because I don't have no money. I don't have no way to take care of these kids. That's the only money I got coming in, so I need to stay on his good side. If he came home and the food wasn't ready and he slapped you in the face, you just made sure tomorrow the food was ready because you didn't want to get a slap in the face. And, like, that's not going down today. So in a certain sense, it does make sense that they're, like, angry and bitter, not towards us, but just like in general, because it's like, well, I thought that I was going to get this type of partner, and now I have to show up way more than I ever expected, way more than I ever seen any other men show up. They never saw their fathers show up like this, or their grandfathers, and if they did, that's a very rare case. But for the most part, it was not going down like that. So now they're angry because, like, what do you mean I have to be an equal partner? Why would I want to do that? Literally, why would they want to do that? After all them years of seeing everybody else just treat me like whatever, why would I want to be the one to step up and be like, oh, I'm gonna treat her right. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna breed equal partners to her. They don't want to do that. And so feminism is, in a sense, a direct attack to them, on them. Only to them, though. To us, it's just like, bro, we just want equalness. Like, I don't understand why you so angry.
She once had everything. A devoted husband who worked hard, provided stability, and gave her loyalty and support. Still, it wasn't enough. That dissatisfaction is a recurring pattern in modern dating dynamics and relationship breakdowns.
What privileges have been afforded to women? Is it a privilege to go work all day under fluorescent lights, do a grind that wrecks their hormones and wrecks their whole bodies and leaves them feeling miserable, angry, and resentful at the end of the day? Is that a privilege? What else is a privilege? Tell me what you're talking about when you talk about female privilege that came from feminism. What is it? Because women aren't happier. They're not. Don't believe the stories. Don't believe the lies. Women are not happier doing all those things.
My mom hated feminism because she thought it took something from her. She thought it took from her the right to be taken care of, depending on a man to take care of me so that I can be a glorified pet. No, thank you. People who hate feminism tend to hate what they think feminism represents. The way it has been presented to me when I was a college professor, when I worked in a women's clinic, was that feminists hated men. Feminists did things considered feminine, which is not true. Feminists hate being treated like second-class citizens because we have XX chromosomes or are presenting as female. We hate people thinking that we should be second-class citizens because of those things. Feminism is the radical idea that women are people before we are anything else. Own yourself. Don't let anybody else own you.
No matter how impressive a woman's income or job title is, professional success alone doesn't replace family, partnership, or long-term fulfillment. Money and status don't automatically translate into happiness when deeper relational goals go unmet.
I think it's problematic that women say, I hate men, watch this video. Remember this thing called COVID? Yeah, it had a fatality rate of about 3% before the vaccine came out. And despite that number being very low, we were very careful. We were very cautious because collectively as a people, no one wanted to get it because we recognize 3% is still terrifying. It's the same as like if you put out a bag of Skittles, right? And there's 100 and you know that 3 of them are poisonous. Are you going to take the chance and pick a Skittle and eat it? Probably not. Just the same way that, yeah, your chances of being a person and going out and getting COVID and dying from it were quite low, but you still avoided it and took precautions because of course, you want to protect yourself. It's the exact same thing with men. You recognize it's not all men, but it's enough men to the point where we have to be cautious. Sometimes the people who will hurt you are your family. They're your friends. They are cousins. They are people that you've known your entire life. So even if you think you know them, you don't quite know them. You never know which ones of the Skittles are going to turn out to be poisonous. Just like you don't know if you're going to get COVID one day when you go out without a mask. It's not about you. It's about self-preservation. It's about protecting ourselves.
Thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. I should have stayed. It wasn't that bad. Like, you made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are like college and one's almost out of high school. Like, you made it. He
was being selfish. Women watch a couple TikToks, they think the grass is greener on the other side, and they go. That's what happens.
Made it. Like, it didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and I was like freaking out because like I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. Like, I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me, and the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And you know, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25. I'm healthy, kinda. I have an autoimmune disease, which means it's life-threatening for the rest of my life.
What is it with all these chicks having autoimmune disease? What causes that? They both have it?
Things can change, but it's not like I'm an invalid and can't do anything for myself. But it is terrifying. Like, I could have stayed. I was so mad that
You know, I do appreciate that she's being honest because a lot of women won't admit that they made a mistake. What is up with these filters, guys? What is up with these filters?
This way, I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier.
I like how she doesn't miss him. She misses the lifestyle he provided. This is why men fear marriage, guys.
I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted. Kinda. I mean, I say that, and then I think as I say that, I'm like, but you couldn't. It's like so weird that my brain thinks that way. And I called my girlfriend and I told her.
Well, you want all the privileges of being under a man's authority, but like that comes with a lack of freedom.
I probably should have just stayed. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. And she just started, she's like, Jenna, what are you talking about? Like, literally. And then I just keep thinking, I'm like, but I had a huge house. All my bills were paid for and I never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut. Well, not the last year of separation. But you know what I mean?
Feminists often protest loudly about reproductive rights, Yet many seem unprepared for the long-term consequences of delaying or rejecting family life altogether. With time, reality sets in, and regret often follows.
There are exactly 3 scenarios in which I shamelessly reject feminism. At number 1, we have absolutely anything to do with the car. If I so much as hear a sound from my car that I have never heard before, I am turning into an Elizabethan goddess. Papa, there's a motor and there's an engine running and there's wires. Could you help me out? And at number 2, we have buying, exchanging, transferring, or anything to do with finagling credit card points. I have no fucking clue or time how to finagle, chase, and be like, I got you because I bought 600 points and I subtracted 2, then I bought 6 and I bartered 5 of them and now I just got a discount on my Cabo flights. Then please mansplain it to me. I don't give a shit. And at number 3, we have building or fixing any piece of furniture whatsoever. I would much rather sleep on 3 pieces of wood than put the pieces of wood together to build myself a bed. Absolutely not.
See these 65-year-old women videos going viral where they say, I walked with the feminist. I bought into the argument of being a feminist. Man was an enemy in my life. I'm 65 years old. I've never been married. I have no kids. I will never be able to experience what it is to be married to a man when I was in my 20s. The concept of feminism stole that away from me. Just because I looked at man as the enemy, and he's not.
At its core, modern feminism sells an unrealistic promise. Many women don't actually want lifelong corporate grind, isolation, and emotional strain. Men and women are wired differently, and pretending otherwise hasn't produced the outcomes that were promised.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Feminists do not have to include men in their movement. We don't have to include the oppressors into our movement. Feminism was created to ensure that women had equal rights to men. Not the other way around. Men have always had their rights. Women had to fight tooth and nail for them. So no, I don't have to include you or your issues in my movement. You can be supportive of the movement. I absolutely encourage men to be supportive of the feminist movement. But your issues will never come above women's issues, and your issues will never be the forefront of the feminist movement.
I am a woman that was coerced to have an abortion.
I'm so sorry.
And what society today is not teaching people is the aftermath. They get them in the clinic and they tell them, we're going to make everything all better, you know, boom, it's done. You walk out, there's zero support, there's zero follow-up, and you are humiliated and ashamed and you feel dirty. It was a 10-year journey of counseling and therapy and healing, more than anything, forgiving myself. And so I'm at a very good place today.
Would you do things differently if you had a second chance?
Yeah, I would. And a lot of that is because of my faith now. I would have had that child. And, you know, even if it meant giving that child up for adoption.
For years, men openly expressed the desire to marry, build families, work hard, and provide stability and protection. Many women rejected that path, choosing short-term independence over long-term partnership, often for jobs that offered little security or fulfillment.
Want to know something wild? Women traded family for a 9-to-5 and then they called it liberation. Just think about it for a second. Our grandmothers prayed for husbands so that they could work hard, raise kids, and build a strong home. That was the dream. Security, love, and purpose. Then feminism came along. Told women that being a wife and being a mother is oppressive. So what did we do? We left the home to work for men that don't love us at companies that will replace us the second we get burnt out. That's not freedom, that is slavery in heels. Feminism convinced women that family is a cage and working for a corporate job is empowerment. Tell me this, why do so many women hit 30, are alone, exhausted, and wondering why they feel so empty? It's because you can't outsmart God's design. No promotion will ever replace a husband that loves you and children who adore you. So no, I'm not anti-woman, I'm pro-woman, and pro-woman enough to tell you the truth. Real freedom isn't in a cubicle or a nurse's station, it's in building a legacy. So go forth and multiply.
So a woman called me. She said, I'm 50 years old. I have 3 degrees. I'm very successful entrepreneur, CEO. And I want you to know, Dennis, I deeply regret that I followed the feminist advice at college. Because when I come home after a successful day at work, to an empty home, no husband, no children, no family. It's not good.
She may joke about it publicly, but privately the frustration is real. Modern society still relies heavily on male labor, structure, and leadership, and removing men from the equation hasn't created the self-sufficient utopia that was advertised.
Men stopped playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.